Hello and welcome to this new video tutorial of multi-vendor request for quote for the WooCommerce platform. And in today's video tutorial, we'll be showing you the front-end workflow of this particular plugin, wherein the customer would be placing the request for quote for the products of the marketplace sellers. Apart from that, we'll also be showing you how the customers can basically request for the request for quotation for the products and services that are also not available within the marketplace store itself, and how the customers would be able to create a product for the same. And apart from that, lastly, we'll also be showing you how the marketplace admin for the store would be able to initially configure this particular module, and how he can view the quotation and the attribute list from the admin backend panel for this particular module's configuration settings. So now let me take you further ahead, and let me take you to the web store front end first, wherein we'll be seeing the customer and seller request for the request for quote for the scenario, and we'll be showing you that particular workflow first. But before that, let me give you a small gist about this plugin. So basically, this plugin facilitates the admin of the WooCommerce multi-vendor marketplace store to allow the customers to request for the quotations for the products in bulk, and the requests are then sent out automatically to the respective marketplace sellers. Also, while the approval is disabled from the admin backend, the admin needs to notify the vendors manually. Otherwise, there is no need for the approval if this approval option is disabled. And apart from that, the customer has to fill in the request for quote form to raise a quotation request, and the customers can also quote for the products and services that are not within the respective store by creating a new RFQ for the product or services as required. And lastly, the quotation request can have its status change from open to pending, pending to answered, and to resolved and closed as required. So let's go to the front end and let's see how basically the customer can request for the request for quote to a seller. And let's see this scenario, and we'll be showing you the workflow now. So right now I'm at the front end of the WooCommerce marketplace store, and now what I'll be doing is I'll just be going to log into my customer account first, so as to place a request for quotation of a product there. So here what I'll do is I'll just enter my username and my password. So I'll enter my username and my password, and I'll right now I'm at the WooCommerce marketplace web store front end, as you can see. So now I'll be logging into my customer account, and thereafter I'll be placing a request for quotation for a seller's product. So I've already logged in, I've already typed in my username and my password. So I'll tap on the login button to log into my customer account now. So now on the left hand side, you can see that here's my customer dashboard, as you can see. And now I'll navigate to my shop page, and on the shop page the customer can basically choose any of the products for which the customer would want to request the quote on. So for example, let's go and let's check this particular Happy Ninja 1 product. So I'll just tap that up, and this brings up the product page, as you can see here. So here we have the details of the product, as you can see. Now for the request for quotation for this particular product, the customer needs to tap here on the request for quote button, and that brings up this pop-up wherein the customer can request for the quote for this particular product. So here you can see that we have the product name. Here we have an option to set up the quantity. We can also enter the description. We can add some sample images. We can enter the company name, its email address, the project description, any other details, and the product inquiry that we want to ask for this particular product. So let me go ahead and let me enter the quantity as 100, and after that, if the customer wants to add some particular images, he can add those as well by tapping the add images link here. So now what I'll do is I'll just go ahead and I'll enter my company name, for example. and I'll enter my email, and after entering my email I will be basically setting up the project description or the title for this particular code. So I'll set it as discount for bulk purchase, and we can also set up the product inquiry. So we'll set it as how much for each product. So basically we want to what we are doing here is that we are sending a RFQ to the seller, and we are trying to purchase 100 quantity of this product, and we want that the seller should give us some kind of a discount in that. So after entering the details for the request for quote, now what I'll do is I'll just tap on the request for quote button, and this would set up the request for quote and would send out the quote to the respective seller whose product is this the Happy Ninja one. So now you can see that the quotation has been added successfully. So now let me go back to my account. So this is the customer account here, and on the customer account we can check the quotations by going to the quotation section here, and that brings up the requested quotation list, as you can see here. So here's the quotation ID number 24 that we just placed. Requested quantity is 100, creation date is this, and under the actions column basically we can view the particular quotation that we have sent out. So I've tapped on the view quotation, and that brings up the main quotation details, as you can see, with the company name, email, project description, and the product inquiry as how much for each product. So here you can see that under the opened quotation list we don't have any quotation right now. So here we have different tabs like the open, pending, answered, resolved, and closed. So we'll be talking about that as well in a coming moments from now. So now this was this customer account. I've requested the RFQ. Now let me log out and let me log into the seller account. So for that I'll just go to my account and I'll tap on the logout button. Now I need to enter the vendor details. I'll type in the vendor details and I'll tap the login button, and now you can see that I've logged into the marketplace seller's account here. So here we have the dashboard for him, and under that dashboard here we have the manage RFQ section. So here the seller finds the customer's quote request under the open tab under the seller's account menu option, that is the manage RFQ. So here you can see that we have the open quotation request, and under the open tab we have the quotation 24, Happy Ninja, quoted quantity 100, customer Peter Doe, and we also can see add quotation under the action column here as well. Now the seller can add the quotation for this particular placed quotation by tapping the add quotation link under the action column here, and that brings up the section wherein the seller can add the quotation for the quotation ID, that is ID number 24. So here the seller would be able to basically set up the quantity, price per product, and the comment as well. Apart from that, the seller can also add the images of the product. So we had asked for 100 quantity. Let's say that now we'll so let's set as for example we'll set it as 100, price per quantity let's set it as 5, and let's comment on that as find the quote, find the quote, and I'll tap on the add quotation button thereafter, and after that we'll be able to see a success message, and it will display that the quotation has been successfully added for that particular quote. So you can see that our comments will also be visible here. For example, we can see that find the quote May 29th 11:35 a.m. by the seller, and your quote info for the seller 100, quantity price $5 per product. And now after the seller has updated the quote for the quoted product from the customer, now let me log out of the seller account, and let's log into the customer account once again. So the customer details are already entered here in the login section. I'll tap the login button. So the customer will find the quotation which the seller has just edited. So for that the customer needs to navigate through quotations, and here we have the requested quotation list, and here we have the quotation ID, that is 24. And what we need to do is to check the quotation details. We'll tap on the view quotation link under the actions column, and now here's the main quotation that the customer had set up, that you can see. And now under the open quotation list, you will be able to see the quotation that the seller added from his own account panel. So now the customer can see this particular quotation by tapping the view link under the actions column here, and that brings up the quotation details for the seller. The top one is of customer. Below that you can see that we have the seller quote details. So here the seller has set up the quantity as 100, price per product as $5, and the status right now is open. Now the customer can add the comment for this one as well. So under the comments you can see that find the code that the seller had sent out to this particular customer. So now the customer, if he finds it as satisfactory, then he can set it as he can set the comment as satisfactory price, and he can also add an image as well if he wants to add an image. So after that he can tap on the send button. So if the customer wants to approve this particular price that the seller has set up for the quoted number of products, then the customer can tap here on the click here to approve the quoted price checkbox. Otherwise, let's first tap the send button to set the comment as satisfactory. So here you can see that the quotation has been updated successfully, and under the comments now our message has also been sent out to the respective seller. Now let's go to the seller's account panel once again. So I'll just log out of the customer's account, and I'll log into the vendor's account. So I'll just tap in the login button. So the customer Revit would be visible under the seller's what we say as the pending ones. So we'll navigate to manage RFQ, and here now you can see that the quotation number 24 is not visible. So it is visible right now under the pending one because the customer has not yet approved it. So here you can see that we have the 24 quotation ID. Now let's tap on the edit quotation link. So I also edit this particular quotation from the seller's end. So here is the quotation ID, the product. So these details basically are of the customer. This one is the seller's comment, this is the customer's comment, and this is the seller's quoted info for the products. So here we can set up okay, fine, let's do it. And I'll tap on the what we say as the update quotation button, and this particular message would be sent out to the customer, and after that the customer can basically approve that. So right now you can see that okay, it's fine, let's do it according to the seller's quoted info. So let me now go back to the manage RFQ section, and right now let me check the quotation that was there. So now this particular quotation would come under the answered one. As you can see here, from open it went to pending, then it went to answered, the quotation number 24. Now let's log into the customer's account and let's confirm this particular quotation that the seller has sent out to the customer. So let me log out of this seller's account first, and now let me log into the customer account, and now let me go to the quotation section, and here the requested quotation list, as you can see here, is here. And so basically we need to navigate to the quotation 24. Let's tap on the view quotation, main quotation details of the customer. Now here basically we'll find the seller's response under the pending one for the customer. So now under the customer's account we can see that the RFQ has went out from the open to pending. So main details pending. So here we have the 24 number. Let me tap the view button. So now from here the customer basically here you can see the seller quote details, the comments. Okay, let's do it fine, let's do it okay, done. And now I can approve this quote, and I'll tap on the send button to approve this particular quote, that is quantity 100 and per product price is $5. So you can see that now basically let me go back here to my quotations, and under my quotations here's the quotation that the customer had placed. Now let me check the quotation details. Okay, now after I've successfully okayed the quantity and the price per product that the seller had sent me, now that RFQ would be under the resolved quotation list, and here I can tap on the view button to check the particular details. So here are the 100 units for $5 and the status is resolved right now. Now let's after the customer has resolved it, now let's go to the seller's account panel once again, log out from the customer's account. Now I'll be logging into the seller account, so I'll just enter the login details. Now for the seller, now let me navigate to the manage RFQ section, and here I'll be able to check that particular RFQ from the customer, and it would have went from the answered to resolved now. So here you can see the quotation ID 24, Happy Ninja. Now let's tap on the edit quotation button. Now on the edit quotation here for the RFQ sent out by the customer, the seller can see the comments from the customer now. Okay, done. And your quoted info. So here the status can be checked as resolved by the seller. The quantity is 100, the price per product is $5. And now basically the seller can proceed to update the product by clicking on the update product button as shown below here. So tapping that up basically would make the 100 quantities of for basically $5 per product. So you can see the quotation has been accepted by the seller for the customer, and now this quotation can be checked by the seller by navigating to manage RFQ, and here under the closed quotation request, the seller can view the quotation ID 24 for the customer. So we can tap on the view quotation link as well to check the details. So this was the customer one, then we have these comments, then your quoted info for the seller, closed, quantity 100, per product $5, and quotation has been accepted. Now let me log out log off from the seller's account panel and let me log into the customers. So here I'm at the login page once again, and now I'll be logging in as a customer, and let me show you now. So now let me go to the quotation section, and here's my quotation. That's the 24 one. Tap the web quotation link, and here we have the main quotation details. Now let me go to the close section or the tab, and here I can find my quotation that has been approved by the seller. So tap the view link, and here we have the seller quote details. As you can see, 100 quantity, price per product is $5, and now here under the quotation details for the customer can basically tap on the add products to cart button. So here you can see that we have the add products to cart button, and tapping that up adds the products to the cart, and then the customer can make a checkout for the number of products that he had asked or requested for quotation, and with the price that has been confirmed by the seller himself. And now you can see that we have the quantity 100, the price 5, and the subtotal is 500, and the cart total goes to $500. So now let me take you to the actual product, because the price of this actual product was $35. So here we have the $35. So here you can see that now we have requested the code for that particular product, and we have purchased 100 quantities for $5 by requesting a code to the marketplace seller itself. So that was much about the customer and the seller and the workflow for the multimedia marketplace request for quote system for the WooCommerce platform, and I hope it helped you out. In the next video I'll be showing you the workflow of the customer, how he can request for a quote for a product or service that is not available there within the marketplace itself, and we'll also be showing you the backend configuration that is required for this particular module initially from the admin's end. So thanks for watching this particular video today, and if you have any questions or queries regarding this particular plugin, then you can get back to us at support@webcool.com, or you may raise a ticket at webcool.uvdesk.com. Thanks for watching this video, and have a great day ahead.